Sometimes it's the smallest moments that reveal the biggest truths, right? A little gesture, a casual look, or in this case, a single wink during a press conference that just sent shockwaves across an entire nation. So, let's get into it. How did one seemingly tiny act become this massive flashpoint in Pakistan's really intense political drama?
And that's really how one person on social media put it, and it just perfectly captures the public's reaction. I mean, think about that. It wasn't just about a wink. It was about everything that wink represented, especially in a country that's already grappling with this huge power struggle. The whole thing was seen as so surreal, it was almost like the nation's entire political theater got boiled down to a single viral meme.
So yeah, that's the big question we're going to unpack here. We're going to look at the viral fallout, we'll break down the moment itself, really try to understand the political feud bubbling under the surface, and then figure out, why this tiny gesture carried so much weight.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this whole controversy, we have to start with the explosion it caused online. Yeah, before we even see the wink itself, let's talk about the immediate, and I mean powerful, reaction it set off.
So the video just spread like wildfire. Almost instantly, people, journalists, the public, were just expressing total disbelief. And the criticism was sharp. People were calling the gesture completely unprofessional, that it totally lacked the kind of decorum you'd expect from a high-ranking military official. But what's really wild is how severe the comments got. Like, you had one user on X literally write, "Democracy is over in Pakistan." So the key takeaway here is that the wink wasn't seen as just some joke. No, it was seen as completely undermining the gravity of these really serious accusations being thrown around. It just tapped into this deep public frustration with all the political theatrics.
Okay, so we've seen the aftermath. Now let's rewind the clock. Let's go back to the press conference itself and see exactly how this whole thing went down.
Okay, first things first, we need some crucial context here. The guy at the center of all this is the Director General of the ISPR. Now, this isn't just some random press office. The ISPR is the super powerful and incredibly influential media wing of the Pakistani military. Seriously, its spokesperson holds a position of immense authority. And believe me, their words and their actions are watched like a hawk.
All right, so here's the play-by-play. You have journalist Absa Kalman asking a really serious question. She's listing off all these heavy accusations being thrown at the former Prime Minister, Imran Khan. Things like him being a national security threat and anti-state, and she's asking for some clarity. So, in response, Lieutenant General Ahmed Sharif Chaudhry, he doesn't just answer. He actually adds another super personal insult to the list. And then, and this is the moment, right after saying it, he smiles and winks directly at her. It's that clash, the formal setting, the incredibly serious topic, and then this, just totally casual, almost flippant gesture. That's what set everything off.
And listen, the insult he threw in there, it wasn't minor, not at all. He used the Urdu phrase "zany Maurice," which translates to mental patient, to describe the former prime minister. I mean, to use language like that in a formal briefing, for a lot of people, it was just a shocking breach of professionalism. It took a political fight and made it deeply personal.
Right. So this wink, it didn't just happen in a vacuum. To really get why it had such an impact, we have to zoom out a bit. We've got to look at the bigger picture, which is this increasingly bitter feud between Pakistan's powerful military establishment and its very popular, but now imprisoned, former leader Imran Khan.
And wow, this really lays it all out, just how personal the back and forth has gotten. On one side, you've got the military spokesperson calling Khan things like a narcissist with dangerous ambitions, accusing him of spreading poison against the army, and even linking him to those violent attacks on military sites back on May 9th. But then, on the other side, you've got Imran Khan, from prison, firing back and calling the army chief mentally unstable. You see, this isn't just political disagreement anymore. It's a full-blown, public, high-stakes battle to control the country's entire narrative.
And during that very same press conference, Lieutenant General Chaudhry said this: "We will not allow anyone to create rifts between Pakistan's military and its people." Now, this is the military's official line, right? They see themselves as the ultimate guardians of national unity. So from their point of view, Khan's rhetoric is dangerously divisive, and they're positioning themselves as the only institution that can hold the country together. Understanding that context is absolutely key to understanding their aggressive stance.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. Because this was never, ever just about a wink. It was about everything that wink symbolized in a country that is seriously on edge. The term lightning rod is probably the perfect way to describe what happened. That one single gesture became a lightning rod for all the public frustration over the state of politics in Pakistan.
It ended up symbolizing this perceived breakdown of professionalism, where huge, serious state matters were being handled with insults and theatrics. For a lot of people, that wink felt like a moment where the mask just slipped, revealing this surreal and deeply personal power struggle playing out behind the scenes.
And that really leaves us with this final big picture thought. This whole wink controversy is really a powerful case study for a much broader question. In a tense political standoff, what happens when professionalism gives way to performance? When the very institutions in charge of national security and governance start engaging in public theatrics instead of just sober, professional conduct, what does that do to a nation's stability? What does it do to the public's trust? That's the question that now kind of hangs over Pakistan's political future.